Hello there and welcome to another one. I trust I find you in good spirits. My name is Tatenda, back with another one. It's game on, baby. And I'm so glad that you are here. If you're new to the channel, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. The reason why we've got the podcast is to ensure that we speak to legends of the game, guys that have done their bit to make sure that the game of cricket ends up not the way they found it. So they're not leaving it worse off than they got to it. So if you're one of those people, be it a player, an administrator, a coach, you name it, anyone that is involved in a game, I believe that everyone has got a story. There's been the ups, there's the downs, and everything in between. And I've got someone that is behind the screens and hitting the lights and everything. You know how it is. Anyway, like I said, Hero is not here, Aya is not here, the rest of the team is not here, Pumza is here behind the screen, hitting my stuff and making sure that I don't look nice. You know when they say people are so jealous, just check all these things. When people do these things, just know that they're jealous. Anyway, I've got a guy that got here before me. My wife always says, and this is my standard statement. My wife says, I don't have any secrets. So, this white guy here was here before me. I'm the host of the show, and I get here, I may as well be the one that is being interviewing me. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, meet my mate. We've been friends on Facebook for quite a while. I think we've met on the cricket field here and there as well. He's a father. I think that's the one part that I want to touch on first up. Mal, good evening and welcome to the Game On podcast.
Evening. Thank you for having me.
Awesome stuff. You can have the mic closer to you.
Thank you.
I was thinking,
much.
white people, you know these things, but clearly.
I'm always scared it's a bit too loud and then the ears and stuff, you know.
Anyway, I throw banter.
No, that's all good. If it's not on the field, it's off the field.
You see, there's always something. Yeah. Congratulations on fatherhood. How is that going?
Thank you. Absolutely amazing. Best thing that could have happened to me. I've got two lovely boys, Aaron and Connor, 4 years old and 1 year old. Nice. Connor is my little mini-me. I feel like Austin Powers. Whatever I do, he does. He's very upset with me at the moment because he can't play cricket with me. He doesn't understand why he can't play with the big boys.
What, the big boys?
Yeah, because he tells me he hits the ball very far. Just because he hits it further than me doesn't mean that he's ready to play with the big boys yet. He's already better than me. He times it better. He clears the front foot and gets it off the wicket.
That's good enough.
Yeah, that's good enough for me.
Wow,
so,
awesome stuff. They speak about terrible twos. So have you met the terrible twos with Connor?
I must admit, his twos weren't that bad. His threes were the issue. Mm-hmm. Him and his mom are like for like. So the two of them, I have to save them regularly. So today I save mom, tomorrow I save Connor. Okay. Because the two of them are two North magnets. And, and Connor's very energetic. So there's a lot of times we have to take him out of the house and then I just tell him, come, bud, let's go for a quick run. We stay in a nice complex and we go for a run, speed bump.
Just to get rid of that energy.
I don't know if it's the energy or just to give my wife 2 seconds to breathe, It might be one of those episodes of Criminal Minds when I come home.
I love it. You've been a dad, and 4 and 1, I think these are delicate stages of their ages, or in a parenting perspective. How have you managed to navigate?
It's a bit difficult to navigate. Like I said, Connor is a little mini-me, so he does not like sharing. So he does not like sharing me. We get told very regularly, Aaron is mommy's baby, daddy is Connor's. And that's how it is, And he does realize that his little brother does need a bit of sharing time and stuff like that, but he doesn't like it. He understands it, but doesn't agree with it.
So just because I understand it doesn't mean I agree.
No, exactly. And there's lots of times that he'll tell me that if they come and cuddle in the bed in the morning and stuff, then he'll tell me Aaron must sleep on mommy's side because Aaron is mommy's baby, Connor is daddy's baby. Jeez. So he's already drawn lines. He's already told you who's the favorite, who's the non-favorite.
Exactly. Without saying much.
But having it that way, when he gets hurt or anything, very quick to run to mom.
Obviously.
So she's his safe area, which is great.
I don't have to come to you all the time.
Yeah, I don't have to, but I keep you at a distance.
Stay there. I still love you.
I still love you.
And I'm gonna need you, just not now.
Just not now.
Man.
So
how amazing is it to have our little ones and sort of like they're following our footsteps, because especially as cricketers, the first thing that you do is to throw a ball to your kid for them to bat and for them to love the game. How important is that relationship between father and son, cricket-wise?
It's absolutely very, very important. I think Connor was about 6 months old when one of my students actually bought him a little signature cricket bat, and that slept in his cot for about 2-3 years ago, or for 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Then for his birthday this year, I bought him a little bit of a bigger cricket bat with a pair of pads, and that goes with to every cricket game. And what was nice to see was he actually took that little signature cricket bat and he gave it to his younger brother.
Oh, man.
And the other night, or the other day, we played on a Sunday. We played a late game, and it must have been about 5 o'clock. And he actually asked me, we had to go on the pitch, and I had to roll the ball, and he hit the ball, and vice versa. He was throwing the ball. He didn't understand why his 1-year-old brother wasn't catching it. But, you know, and he,
Connor,
you know, he did what all fast bowlers do. You know, when someone misfields or drops a catch, they absolutely abuse you.
Yes, like,
and he was giving it to his 1-year-old brother. You know, the 1-year-old brother is dropping the standards. You know, definitely not going to have the 1-year-old in the slips, you know.
You're going to drop the ball.
You're going to drop the ball,
What are you doing? Wow, amazing. Anyway, if you're new, we've got Malcolm Faddy that's joining us today. And we're just going to chat a little bit about his cricket. And if you know this guy, please let us know in the comment section where you met him, how you met him, and what's your fondest memory of you and him. Sorted. Anyway, Mal, welcome to the Game On podcast. And the reason, like I said earlier, is when we bring guests onto the show, it's guys that have done something for the game of cricket. So servants of the game, we always want to refer you guys to as servants of the game, coaches, players, administrators, moms. We actually had an episode that we had last week, and we had a mom. First time, she didn't even know what the game of cricket was, but just knowing that, oh, my kid is playing cricket, so I have to be at this location at this time, that kind of vibe. So we are trying to bring people that are in the game. And when we spoke, it was like a no-brainer, like, you know what, let's have a chat. So this is not an interview.
No.
It's two gents, two fathers that are sharing their love for their children and sharing their love for the game of cricket.
Awesome.
So thank you so much. But before we get into anything, someone is watching this and thinking, yes, they went into the comment sections and said, this is how I know Malcolm, but there's always someone that is probably in the States that has never played cricket and watching the show. Or we've got subscribers from Kazakhstan. I don't know if you guys can understand English, but then they will ask, who is Malcolm? And I always want the guest to be the one that says it in the way that feels like you're selling yourself, or you're telling your true story. So, who is Malcolm?
First off and foremost, I'm a husband, father, teacher, and then I like to call myself a bit of a licorice all sorts cricketer. Done a bit of everything, you know, from batting, bowling, keeping, coaching, admin, club captain, running a club, running area side, stuff like that. So when I say a little bit of a licorice all sorts player, I've had my feet and my toes in a bit of everywhere that I can, wherever I can be used. That's important.
I love the fact that you said you are a husband. You almost said you're a father first.
Yes, but then my
the couch
wife
was going to be yours.
Yeah.
Right? I promise you, you're going to sleep on the couch. So well done on bringing yourself back. Like, oh, I'm sorry, love. I'm back. Amazing stuff that you've been everywhere. And the reason why we also have the show is to put an emphasis on club cricket. How has, in your own words, how has the transition from club cricket or from area cricket to club cricket, has it been smooth enough? And if so, great. If not, what can be done to make sure that we get more kids that are coming in? Because you get to a point whereby you've got a kid that was really amazing, under 9 cricket, under 10, 11s, whatever. Then when they get to high school, sort of everything just dies down. What are we doing, or is there a transition process from high school cricket to club cricket to ensure that club cricket doesn't die?
I do feel that there is a little bit of a gap between your club cricket and your area schools. You do get strong areas, you do get weaker areas. Your stronger areas, it seems that the students grow into club cricket a lot easier. Okay. Where your smaller areas, it seems to be a bit of an issue. And we must understand, cricket is expensive.
Yes.
So club cricket is self-funded. So what I have noticed is in your smaller areas, getting students to go from school to club cricket is a problem because of funding. Not just for equipment, but traveling costs, club costs, club clothing, stuff like that. So there is a little bit of a gap in certain areas. Certain areas are well looked after, and it's growing well. For many years, people that have played against me and known me, I was at Randfontein Cricket Club for a good number of years, helped them get from playing SU1 cricket to Prem. We went through the ranks of Promotion League, President's League, got demoted from President's League, got our way back up. In our first year in Prem B, we won it. We won the 50 over and the time competition, and went up to Prem A, where that particular year we didn't do well in the 50 overs, but we did well in the time cricket. And as a club side, we had a very close-knit side that had been playing cricket together for about 8 years. So that was nice. Now that I've left Randfontein, I still chat to a lot of the players, a lot of the youngsters. Their age group is a bit different, where when we got them there, we were all relatively the same age. We were all relatively a year, 2 years, maybe even 4 years was the max that we were away from each other. But we were all in the same category. And what was nice was we weren't just a cricket team, we were a team offwards. We would visit at each other's houses, you know, where I think sometimes what happens when youngsters come into a club side, how does a 15, 16-year-old fit in with a 21, 22, 23? And sometimes also that 22, 23-year-old, what influence does he have on the 15-year-old? Because we need to understand when you're 20, 21, 22, you like a beer after the game.
Obviously.
You can't be expecting the 15-year-old to be doing
fines,
it. You can't be having fines because he dropped a catch. You know, you can't put
the
beer on the clubhouse.
You're going to kill his confidence as well. Oh, so they're punishing me because I dropped the catch.
Yes. So sometimes that is also the difference. And I mean, certain clubs do have traditions of what they do. And I think sometimes that 15 to 17-year-old is where the gap is. And then when he's 17-year-old, he now finds his feet back, comes back to club cricket and goes on. That maybe said at other clubs isn't an issue. Maybe there's a nice, smooth transition. But also, maybe it's because of the school that he goes to or she goes to, because we must also remember that ladies cricket
girls are
is
playing, exactly. And it's coming up.
It's coming up nicely, you know. So we need to remember that what is the setup for them. CGL does a lot of work behind the scenes for junior cricket. And I was thinking this morning when I was going to work, what we would chat about on the podcast. And one of the things I thought was, 10 years ago, if we had, even go back maybe 15 years ago, if we had the opportunities that children have got now to play so much cricket, you've got the Lenasia Premier League.
We'll be very far.
We would, you know, you've got the Black Widow tournaments. And I think CGL and a lot of the clubs are doing a lot. I mean, there's the Randburg, I think a T20 competition.
Then there's the 100 as well.
Yeah, the 100 and all that. Those are amazing competitions. So cricket is no longer, when I was in school, it was term 1, term 3 sport. That was it, you know.
Played for 6 months and that's it.
Now it's a whole year. And that's when I come back to that it's expensive, because when you are 13, 14, 15, you are growing. So in the beginning, in January, you're a size 6 shoe.
And it's going.
By March, April, May, you're now a size 12.
Exactly.
You know, now you need new pads, new bats. And I understand that companies need to make money, but sometimes I think cricket equipment is crazily expensive, and I think that's why we lose students, because you can buy rugby boots, you can buy soccer boots.
Easier.
Yeah.
You only need one. You need one pair, and that's it.
That's it. You don't need a bat, a gloves, box, thigh pad, pads. I mean, you think of a general down-to-earth cricket kit, 12,000 Rand, 13,000 Rand.
Easy.
And then it's not top of the range.
They need 12,000 for a cricket bat on its own. And imagine, do you remember when you tell your wife that, babes, I need a new bat, and they're like, yeah, sure, how much is it? 500 Rand. No, love, 6,000. You are crazy.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. So we're gonna take money out of our own house to fund your club cricketing wars and whatnot. So it's always going to be tough for a parent, I believe, to fork out 30,000 Rand for cricket top of the range, because if you want to perform at the highest, you also need to have the best kit to
Exactly.
to manage that. In the comment section, let us know the game of cricket. Do you think club cricket is dying? And that's the one question that I'm going to send to Malcolm as well. That in as much as we can say, especially in the black community, let's speak about the black community, the economic conditions are always going to be tough because one, the parent does not understand the game, and two, the parent is always at work, and the kid loves the game because of the school that they're going to, but they're always going to want the backing of the parent. As you were playing cricket, what challenges did you meet being a player, and what challenges did you also face being a parent to try and mitigate all these 30,000 rands that are being spoken about? So Mao, how important now is it? You said the transition from high school, there's a bit of a gap there. What can we do to sort of close that gap? Because are we then saying we're just going to throw in 500,000 and that gap is closed? Is it a money thing or is it a commitment thing?
I think, and CGL has done it, they've done the SU7 League on a Sunday, which is a 35 over competition, and I think it's up to under 15. I do believe that they need to have more competitions for your under 16, under 17 players. So in the SU7 League, what they do is you're allowed 2 senior players, so 2 senior statesmen that help manage all of that. I think they need that again in maybe SU6, SU5 to help the under 16, under 17, under 18. We need to also remember not every under 16, 17 and under 18 boy is going to be a Jacques Callis that can go and play Prem cricket. Not everyone is going to be a Graham Smith that can play Prem cricket when they are 15, 16. Not everyone is going to be a KG that can play Prem cricket. So we do need that filtering system where you keep the 16, 17-year-olds in there. Money-wise, there are a lot of ways people can get kit. Yes, there's kit donations. There's a great thing now at DP Wanderers where outside cricket company, there's donation boxes. I know yesterday they gave a lot to Coach Benji. Coach Benji's done a lot for cricket development over the years, whether it was Kagiso, whether it was Swaneville, stuff like that. So those are nice things. There's the youngster from St. Stithians, Play It Forward, where he will often post on Facebook. Absolutely amazing drive that he's got there. But what about the people that don't have access to social media? How does that person that doesn't have social media, how does he ask for kit and so forth? I know a couple of years ago, I ran a few coaching clinics in Swaneville. I've got 2 good friends that play for Swaneville Cricket Club, Pule Mulefi, and often he'll phone me and Ben. They'll phone me and ask me to come and help, stuff like that. So in 2014, I actually spoke to a cricket club from Lesotho, and they came over and they played cricket against Swaneville. And it wasn't about the cricket, it was the friendships that was made, it was, all of those kind of things. And to me, what was interesting was one of the boys from Swaneville, also, I'll be honest, didn't have a lot. He had 2 pairs of white trousers, and one of the gentlemen from Lesotho was playing in a pair of shorts. If anyone has played at Swaneville's fields, if you dive on that field, you need a screen graft to get a new leg back.
Sure.
And this gentleman went and actually gave his 2nd pair of pants. Wow. And I knew the person that had given the pants, and nothing personal, nothing harsh. I knew he couldn't afford it, but yet he went and gave
from a place of lack, not a place of luxury.
That's it. And I'll never forget that. Always made me remember that doesn't matter what you've got, you've always got to give back to the game. Something. There's always something. So how do we help those youngsters was your question. We need to go into those areas and see who needs things. We can't just expect social media and a post here and a post there. And sorry said, if you can give. Whether it is 100 Rand, 10 Rand, whether it's 5 Rand. I'll be honest, I've been very fortunate. I've always had very nice kits. So when kit has got old, I've always given it away. I'm not telling you I'm giving you away a pair of gloves. There's no more on the palm or anything. But once I've got a new pair of gloves, I don't give the old. I give the old pair of gloves away. Yes, I've been fortunate and I'm lucky. I know I've got friends that have played club cricket that stopped playing 5 years ago. Those kits are sitting in a garage.
Still sitting, yes.
Yeah.
Gathering dust.
And I've said to them, why don't you donate them? Yeah, no, but
I'm going to play.
I'm coming back.
I'm gonna play.
Yeah, they need to realize we're not Shahid Afridi. We can't retire 20 times and come back 20 times.
Back again. Yeah.
So, and I appeal to people, if you have old kit, give it to, I don't know, contact. You can contact myself, contact you. We all get hold of Benji.
I always put on Facebook as well. And a lot of my boys that I coach, whenever they get new stuff, they always bring it through. Because I was working with Jackie Maffa in Gordon Bells, some place in Ivory Park, Tembisa, Midrand, that side. And these guys were practicing in a tennis net, a tennis court, a very old, dilapidated one, but you could see the love that they had. So you say, to you, it feels like the shoes are worn out, because a lot of them will be like, we are so embarrassed to donate these things because they are so old. The gloves have been dirty and whatnot. But the fact that it's still a glove, or it's still a cricket bag, it's still a wheelie bag, it means a lot to that boy, because he's never had a wheelie bag in his life. You understand?
So I gave a cricket bag many years ago. If I had to even put a date on it, I think it was after one of my tours in the UK. So probably about 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
I gave it to a young boy in Mokhlakeng.
Okay.
And I must have been back at Randfontein High School about 2 years ago, actually.
Yeah.
And I saw a child walking around with very similar bag. So I looked and I was like, hang a second. It looks familiar.
Exactly.
Yeah?
You know what, your own thing, you know it.
You know it. And I went to the child, and it actually, I'd given it to his brother.
Wow.
And the brother had passed it down. And it was amazing that it was still in good nick.
Wow.
I mean, even after 2009,
they'd
taken care of it. Sometimes when it's a luxury, I just chuck it in the back of the car.
Mom is going to buy another bag. Yes. Or I've got a sponsor, they'll give me another. At the end of the season, I'm getting another one anyway.
And I mean, in club cricket, we've always made jokes, and it's always been the common chirp. It's nice being sponsored by mom and dad. Sometimes,
which is true. Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes we need to sit back and think. We can't always be sponsored by mom and dad.
You can't.
You can't.
Especially as you grow older as well, because a cricket career is very short. So the moment you're hitting 20, 25 and nothing has come out, then you have to start sponsoring yourself. You can't keep on going back to mom as a 24-year-old and say, Mom, my bat is broken, I need another bat. Go to work.
I'd like to meet that mom that I can go back to at 24 and she's going to give me 10K. I would love that.
I don't mind. Let's jump back. Thank you for everything that you've been doing. I think the mere fact that someone can look up to you and say, you're going to make cricket better. And when the guys in Swanov will call you, it's not like you're charging them. It's your time, your money, your fuel to go all the way and impart the knowledge, because we love what we do. They say when you're doing what you love, getting paid is just an incentive.
Exactly.
But otherwise, I love seeing boys thriving. I love seeing boys take a diving catch. I saw, I think it was in the PSL, and Colin Munro, he was fielding at the boundary and the ball was hit, dropped catch. The boy that was the ball boy, he drops a catch, and in 5 seconds he just told the boy, this is how you catch it. The next ball was hit, guess what? It was a 6, but the boy caught it. And you're like, those are the things. Yes, he's a professional cricketer and he's getting paid to do that. But this boy, it means a lot to this boy that I was taught by a professional and I did it.
And it worked.
This is the stuff that we need to be doing more of to ensure that cricket becomes a different sport altogether. When did the cricket bug, let's talk about you and your cricket. When did the cricket bug say, you know what, we're doing this?
So if you speak to most cricketers, they'll tell you, from a young age, playing backyard cricket with the older brothers. That didn't happen to me.
Okay.
Mom and dad got divorced when I was about 9 years old. Then we moved to South Africa.
I see.
So 9, 10 years old, I did not know how to bat, how to bowl, how to catch. I still don't know how to bat, but I was a lot worse then.
Oh, please. You know when people are being so modest, they're scoring hundreds week in, week out, and they say, I still don't know how to bat.
You know, so I learned from backyard cricket with a few good friends in Western area, a little mining town on the far West Rand. Okay. We played some serious backyard cricket. It was like test cricket back there. Yeah. So this was going back 1991, 1992. South Africa just got back into cricket, so woke up very early in the morning to watch the World Cup in Australia. And I fell in love with cricket watching one particular person, and he's always been a role model, always been an icon to me. I wish I could bat like him, was Peter Kirsten.
Oh, yes.
Reason being, he was short. I was also very short. I was the size of the pulpit or the podium when I went to standard 6. So my nickname in standard 6, which is grade 8 now, was podium because I was shorter than that. You know, my blazer had to be tailored because I was that small.
Jeez.
So watching Peter Kirsten bat, and I'll never forget, he took a catch against India, 1992 World Cup, Chris Sridkath off Donald, top edge, and he dived, caught it. And to me, that was where, when I saw that catch, that was what made me wanted to play. And yes, like I said, brothers never grew up in the backyard, but to my 2 brothers, because they were a lot older than me, there was many occasions where they would come home from work and say, okay, let's go to the local cricket club, and they would throw balls to me. And I could hit balls, or they would bat and I could bowl and stuff like that. So yes, my brothers did have a bit of a play in it, but playing backyard cricket with your friends, that is where it started from. And then, yes, I've been fortunate. I've had some good coaches, good mentors. In primary school, I had 2 cricket coaches, Billy Hutting and Dirk Bloem. They sort of molded me and gave me the scaffolding, or the fundamentals, the foundations to get to high school. When I got to high school, I had a cricket coach in grade 8 and 9, which was standard 6 and standard 7, Mr. Fanikak and Mr. Javi Fasahi, that also molded me. Then when I got to first team, I had a coach called Anton Visser. Dion Visser was his dad, who was my principal in primary school. So I had Anton Visser, Dion Visser, and then Herman Duplessis. They were my coaches in high school. And I was very lucky. At Krugersdorp High School, I had a great cricket mentor. He never coached me, but he was always my mentor. He would come and watch games and then chat to me afterwards. The late John Hall, who was just absolutely amazing. So he was basically the person that pushed me. If I'd had a bad game, he would sit me down and say, okay, not what did you do wrong, how can we fix what can we do, and stuff like that. At Krugersdorp High, we had an overseas coach that played for Causa for many, many years. A lot of people will know him, Tony Stubbs. So Tony Stubbs as well used to throw a lot of balls for me in high school. It was quite nice that when I went back and played for Randford team, we used to play against Causa, and you get to play against your coach. That was always a nice thing. Yes. I will be honest, it gave me great joy to get him out.
It's like getting your bigger brother out.
I remember one day he batted out of his socks and he caned us all around the park. And I remember going home and I was like, I'm never going to let coach teach me that lesson again. And it was like sat down that I wanted to get him out. And I still talk to Tony now. I still speak to Mr. Visser every now and then. He was at Cares. He's now left Cares. Yeah. So, I've been lucky and fortunate enough to have that. Then growing up, when I was 23, I was fortunate enough to go to the UK. I went to a little village cricket club called Scotton in North Yorkshire. Absolutely loved it. Had some great mentors there as well. So they helped and molded me. So I was at Scotland for 4 years. I used to travel backwards and forwards every 6 months. And then what was nice, in 2016, I went back. Wow. And I played for the club again. And was interesting, one of the players that I'd played with when I was a youngster, his 2 children that had grown up next to the field, ended up being my captain and my opening batting partner. To Callum, while we're on here, I'm sorry that I ran you out on 96.
Jeez, on 96. Yes. Whose score was it? Whose score was it?
He should have sent me back.
So who hit the ball?
He hit the ball.
I think let's take this opportunity because he's watching.
So Callum was on 95. He ran it down to third man. I knew he was close to 100, and I was also close to 100. So I thought if we could get to the 100s quicker, it would. And unfortunately, 95 down to third man. I ran the first one quick. I called, and he should have sent me back.
He could have said no.
He could have said no, because it wasn't that he got run out just.
It was far.
He was far, halfway down the track.
So there was
I sold him. There was no
chance.
There was no chance. So to Callum, I apologize. That would have been your first club 100. But and then at club cricket as well. I mean, I've had some good mentors from Warren Smith. A lot of people, older people, would have known Warren. He played for Randfontein for many years. He played for Marks Park for many years. And then Also another great coach, mentor, Zola, the late Oldu van der Berg, who passed away last year. What was nice, you could bounce ideas off them. So I've been very fortunate to have played cricket. Also had great mentors. I've played cricket in Zambia. I've played cricket in Lesotho when I've coached and stuff like. So I've been very fortunate. If I can call it, not being a professional, because I think if you play first class and stuff, you tour, you go to nice places and stuff. I've done it the other way around.
So you've been a servant.
It's been nice to meet friends, meet people. I mean, like you said, we've known each other a long time on Facebook. I remember playing against you at Randburg, you know, but I've got other friends on Facebook, Instagram, all of that. Guys that I've played 1 or 2 games against, but they live in Australia, given New Zealand. And it's a constant once a year, once every 3 months, you'll get a message.
That happy birthday as well. How are you doing, buddy?
That happy birthday, the Merry Christmas, stuff like that. So it's nice that you've made friends that have helped you a lot.
It's amazing how you speak about your 2 brothers that you guys were playing backyard cricket. Was there any sort of abuse? Because I've seen a lot of times when the little brother is there and is batting, the bigger brother just wants to bump him. He just want to go for him. Was there such with your brothers?
No, I must admit, my 2 brothers, I was a bit of a lot lamaki. So my 2 brothers kept me in cotton wool, so they protected me.
I see.
So my oldest brother,
because of the age gap?
It was because of the age gap. So to my 2 brothers, to Norman and Christopher, absolutely amazing. They used to throw me nice half volleys.
Nice.
You know, I never got the short stuff, never at the body.
There was no
body line.
What a life. That's amazing.
The only thing that I got that was short and wide, so I could cut it.
Nicely.
Or I just got the full pitched one and I could just drive, you know. So
amazing brothers.
They were, you know. And I mean, they've also, my 2 brothers have been there for me through thick and thin. My mom and dad, before both of them passed away, were also there thick and thin, you know. My mom would pick up the phone and phone me on a Sunday, how was club cricket, stuff like that. My dad passed away before we had cell phones and stuff like that. So, I mean, if he wanted to ask me, it was a letter.
You know. Then it will get to you after 6-7 days.
That's it, you know. So that's also going back into it. It was very nice to have that basic. And now, of course, my 2 boys and the wife, very supportive. They come to every game that I play, unless it's cold, then obviously. But they love it. They come, they take over.
Wow. You mentioned the importance of a mentor. You said you had a mentor at Krugersdorp High, and Krugersdorp High was one of the feeder schools for CSA, and the guys are doing amazing things. I see Sandile is there right now.
Sandile and Bongs are there now.
And you spoke about a mentor, and this was a mentor that was not a cricket coach. So at what point did the mentor sit down with you and say, I want to mentor you? Or did you go there and say, can you mentor me?
So when I got to Krugersdorp High, so Mr. John Hall was the first team coach when I got to school. And I don't know if anyone's ever watched the movie Goal. They're always watching the first team play, and the first team is there while the reserves are over here. And everyone wants to be in the first team. And that is what it was. When I got there in Standard 6, you wanted to play in the first team because you wanted Mr. Hall to coach you. He was very old school, looked like Paul Kruger with the beard, but you wanted that man.
You want that wisdom.
You wanted that wisdom. He was almost like a Gandalf from Lord of the Rings, you know.
Nice.
And when I moved up the ranks, he then moved down to nurture the younger boys. So very early in Standard 6, we played a game against Greenside High School and batted well, bowled well, you know. I wouldn't say I'd batted exceptionally well. It's not like I scored a 50 or anything. I think I'd scored a gritty 20, picked up 2 wickets, but not gone for much. And on the Monday morning, I remember on the intercom getting told, Malcolm Faddy, please go and see Mr. Hall. And I was like, oh, okay. At that stage, he was also a very disciplined person. I was thinking,
did you think you're in trouble?
I thought I was in trouble, you know. And I remember going into his class and he told me to sit down. And I sat down and he said to me, I like this about you and I like this about your cricketing ability, but I didn't like this, you know. And you know when you hear that I like this, Then that but, and I just remember my heart drops. And he would, if he wasn't coaching, come and watch our Wednesday game and then come and watch our Saturday game, because Wednesday was 30 overs, Saturday was 50 overs. Longer, and he would come on a Monday morning with his little notepad and tell me, this is what I like. He was writing notes and stuff like that. And even when I got to first team, he still did the same thing. When I finished school, I went to Northwest, did a bit of studying. He would still contact my mom to find out what I'd done at club cricket.
So he was heavily involved.
He was heavily involved. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, I've got huge amounts of respect for him. And if I could ever be half the mentor, half the person he was, I think I've done well. I do think I've still got a long way to go. But he was just absolutely amazing. And I cannot thank him enough.
Wow. In the comment section, let me come back to you again. Do you have a mentor or are you a mentee? I remember one of the gents from the cricket once sent me that message. And when the message came through, it's like, Tats, can you please mentor me? And I'm like, okay, where do I even begin? Because a lot of times, I think when it comes to mentorships, we kind of feel like I'm not good enough. What can I possibly give you? And a lot of times someone is looking at your lifestyle and thinking, I want to make decisions like you. In as much as maybe sometimes I'm thinking, just as my decisions are crap sometimes, you understand? So in the comment section, just let us know who is your mentor or are you willing to be a mentee? And if you're willing to be one of the two, what advice would you be giving your mentorship program, or what would be on your mentorship program rather? Coming back to you, Mal, you've played the game, you've traveled, you said you played village cricket in England, but then what is it that is club cricket in England that you can take right here in South Africa, and how we are sort of playing our club cricket in Lesotho, in Zimbabwe, wherever? Where can we find a balance, or is there a balance that is relative to what we have here and what they have there?
I'm hoping this answers your question. So one of the things that I saw in the UK that I thought worked really well was they managed their youngsters. So if you were a fast bowler, you had a quota of overs for the week. Okay. So because they play a lot of cricket in the UK, so you can play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but you had a quota. So say your quota was 20 for the week, and you had maybe played 2 T20s on Thursday and Wednesday, or Thursday and Friday, or whatever, and you'd bowled your 8 overs. On Saturday and Sunday, you only had 12 overs to bowl. Okay. And they actually had people monitoring that. Okay. They also then had, where club games were played or village cricket was played, they had scouts that would go to different grounds and have a look at different youngsters. Okay. Then those youngsters would be invited to Yorkshire Nets or Lancashire Nets, Durham Nets or whatever, and they would actually practice as an under 15 group, where I think here in South Africa, we have your area weeks, then you get chosen for your Gauteng or your Central Gauteng, under 15, under 16, all of that. Then you will have your national week, and then you have your high performance. What about the players that have slipped through there?
Oh, that didn't make it.
And that
didn't score in that week.
Okay. And that's where the village cricket, they have the scouts to go and have a look. So they're not going to go and have a look at Johnny that's scoring hundreds week in, week out. We already know about Johnny. We want to go.
He's already in the radar.
Yeah, we want to go and see about Frikkie that hasn't done anything, you know. And I think that really helped the growth of English cricket. Wow. And there's a guy that is captain of Yorkshire at the moment, Tat. His nickname is Tats. His older brother, he's wicketkeeper batsman. Yeah. He played England under 19. So my first or second year in the UK, his brother was supposed to be one of the up and coming players. And I remember playing against him. He was about 13 years old. Okay. And he also didn't perform somewhere. So the scouts would come and watch him and make sure, is he still doing what he's supposed to be doing? There was a young fast bowler, Dan Wigby, same concept. He was on the Yorkshire books because they believed that there was something about him. Wow. So yes, you maybe haven't made your provincial side, but we know you. We know you. And I think that's important.
So instead of chucking a player out, like, oh, you never scored, we never heard anything about you in the week. Yes. So that means you screwed up. Wow, I like that.
And I do think that's important because if I go back, so I'm now at a school that doesn't have cricket. So I started there 3 years ago. And because of COVID and because of other issues, if I can call it issues may be a bit of a harsh word, but other circumstances. Yeah. Because of other circumstances, we only had 6 cricketers 3 years ago. Wow. 2 of those cricketers then matriculated.
That's actually a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Considering.
Yeah. So 2 of those students were in matric, they matriculated, they left the school. 2 students went to another school because they got a cricketing bursary. We were left with 2 boys. Now, those two boys practice every week, week in, week out, but they never got game time.
But they can't do it alone, yes.
That's it. So last year, those two particular boys ended up making the area side, and they did quite well.
Wow.
We did have a young grade 8 boy come in, so from grade 7 to grade 8. He also made the area side.
Wow.
So now we've got 3 youngsters that are playing area cricket.
But they don't have cricket at their school.
They haven't got cricket in the school, and they haven't got cricket that they're practicing on. So what we did this year, and I know some coaches are going to probably kill me for saying this. We brought LMS to the school. LMS is last man standing, so it's eight players, not 11 men.
Yeah.
And what we did was we said, okay, fine, we've got our 3 cricketers. Who else in the school wants to play? So we've got another 2 youngsters. So we've now got 5 youngsters. So we said, fine, every week, if the 5 youngsters are available, we'll top it up with 3 coaches. If only 4 students are available, we'll 4 coaches play. Now, what we are doing with that is, if a youngster bats, a senior player must bat with a youngster.
Okay.
If the youngster goes out, another youngster goes in. If a
senior
player goes out, senior goes in. And we've chatted to the guys at LMS, and I must admit to LMS Rudaput, they've been really, really amazing and supportive. They understand our goal. So while games are being played, if a coach is not playing, because like I said, there's 4 coaches, he walks around the field and he coaches and he gives ideas. Yes. And we've sat down with the students and we've said to them, listen, just go out, play, have fun. Go out, do what you've done in the nets, because for 2 years, you guys have been slagging it off in the nets and you never seen the rewards. You're never going out and bowling on the wicket, getting batsmen out, stuff like that. And we are very fortunate that at our school, we have got some good coaches. Coach Alvin, Coach Evie's are doing absolutely amazing jobs with the kids. So that's the nice thing, because now those 4 or 5 students now get to see their coaches.
They can see.
They can actually
Coach,
see.
You've been telling me to hit it through cover. Let me see
you hit it through cover, And I mean, Evie's is still a young coach, so he's still slim and tender. Alvin and myself, we've got the dad bod.
Yes, obviously.
Yes, Alvin's not a dad yet, but he's still got the dad bod.
Already,
yes, but yet on Sunday, Alvin got 50 odd, and the youngsters can actually see, but Coach Alvin, he's telling us what to do, but he can also
do it. Yes,
he can do it, and he's not going to ask us to do something that he can't do.
Yes,
yes. When one of the youngsters for 2 weeks, I know he was talking to Coach Alvin, and he wanted to bowl an in-swinger, and Coach Alvin worked with him for about 2 weeks. Eventually, we got onto the field. I think it was our first or second LMS game. So also the coach has been there. We can coach them the rule or teach them the rules, coach, all of that. So eventually the youngster was bowling. And Coach Alvin from long on said, listen, and very nice and loudly. It wasn't like it was a Bluetooth message,
exactly, like proper.
No, it was, listen, I think it's time for the big in-swinger. And the batsman, I remember I was keeping, the batsman still said, the youngster hasn't swung one all day. What's he going to swing now? What happened? Swung it in nicely, cleaned him up, and Monday morning, you couldn't keep that child quiet, because that's all he spoke about.
And the confidence, yes.
So that has helped our students a lot. Now, I do know, and like I said, coaches are going to probably kill me for saying this. I agree. At your area weeks, at your provincial weeks, they need to be playing 50 over cricket. Yes, LMS is 20 overs. It's a 5 ball over, so it's only 100 balls.
Yes.
So it's ideally almost like the 100.
So it's 100, yes.
But what we've said to our students is, we don't want you to go and bat 2020 mode. Go and bat
Play
how
your
you
game.
bat. Play your game.
Yeah.
I don't want to say we're not interested about the results. Yes, a win is a win, and the team has won 4 on the bounce. Well done.
Wow.
But we want the children to go and do what they've been doing in the nets.
Yeah.
And also, we are fortunate enough with our 4 coaches, we know a lot of the LMS teams, a lot of the players. So we know if the guy is slightly sharpish or whatever, we're not going to go and send a rabbit into headlights, When we also bat, we also know, hang a second, if this guy is a little bit of gas, we will block 4 balls, we will protect them as
protect the youngster.
And also explain that to the youngsters, And that is our bigger goal. And what has been nice, we have had, because LMS is clothing, coloured balls, all of that. So it's also amazing.
It's nicer as well, exactly.
Yes.
To use,
Yeah, so we have had 2 people come on board, sponsored shirts, sponsored pants, stuff like that. So that's great, because now all of a sudden, the child or the kid, the student, isn't just, I've got a white shirt with my white badge on it.
I'm wearing something.
Coloured clothing, I've got my name on the back, nickname. And I know one of the coaches spoke to me a few weeks ago, not from our school, from another school, and was like, yeah, but why don't you send your 5 boys to my school? They can play under my school. And I was thinking to myself, if you go to school A, you don't want to go and play cricket for school B.
School B.
Because you're
you
in
want
school
that pride.
A.
You want that pride of saying, I
yes.
went to A and I played cricket at A.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, so that is, I think, tremendously good for the kids. And the students are loving it. Yes, LMS is 2 hours on a Sunday. Mom and dad come and watch.
But it's fun. Because in as much as, yes, we want to draw crowds, the cricket game is too long. You bring people over, it's only the people that enjoy Test cricket that are going to sit for 5 days and watch.
That was my biggest reason for stopping club cricket. And yes, I still play veterans. Veterans is 20 overs and 35 overs. But I couldn't justify working Monday to Friday.
Saturday, you're playing Saturday
play
cricket.
Saturday cricket, then Sunday
the
is 5, 6, 7 hours in the sun. And sorry to say it, like we spoke about my family, certain cricket grounds don't accommodate families.
Yes.
Because the bathrooms aren't clean. Where are my 2 little boys going to play?
So they're going to be there the whole day, or your wife is going to be there the whole day and she can't even use the bathroom. Every human being is going to need the bathroom. So amazing. And I want to come back to what you guys are doing with LMS and going to get into your career with LMS. But I just want to take a moment to appreciate the fact that I think LMS has changed the way things are being done. I still remember the first time that I heard of LMS, then Renato and the guys, they invited me, like, come on, have a Joe, it's 8 fielders. Okay, great, we go in. I'm like, jeez, okay, how does this work? The first ball that hit my bat was like, yeah, this ball is hard on the bat. But what I'm trying to put out is, from when we started to where we are right now, you're like, LMS has really changed things. Tell me about LMS. When someone that is hearing this, my wife here is thinking, LMS, what the hell is that? Because she does not know about it. For someone that is listening to this, what is LMS?
So if I could just take one step back first. Anyone that knows me knows I loved time cricket.
Yes.
I would bat you your 60 overs for 10 runs and I'd be happy.
And you're fine.
I was happy with that.
We'll throw banter and whatnot.
Yeah, it was, you know, so when LMS first came out, I must admit I was pretty much against it. But I don't think I understood it. Also, 2020 cricket, I never really understood. So 2-3 years ago, a good mate of mine from Renfontein Cricket Club, Jimmy Reynolds, he gave me a call one day and he's like, listen, we're writing in an LMS team. I want you to come and open the batting. So I'll never forget, I still laughed. I was on my way home from work and I said to him, Jimmy, you want me to face all 120 balls? And he's like, no, it's only 100 balls. And I was like, oh, no. Okay. I said, so now you're cutting down the 20 balls. You do realize now my strike rate's going to be 10.
Exactly, yeah.
And he said to me, all I want you to do is you bat, we bat around you. So not a problem. And that's how we started off at Roodepoort LMS, at Roodepoort Cricket Club, which used to be Mavericks.
Yeah.
And went really, really well. It was a few cricketers, a few rugby players, a few good mates. And
let's just have a job.
That was what it was. And when I got there to the first game, there was about 4 players that I knew, but there was about 12 guys there. So you got to now make new friends.
Yes.
So LMS is 20 overs, but it's only a 5-ball over, where outdoor cricket or normal 11-man cricket is 6 balls.
6 balls, yeah.
What LMS does, and it's very clever, if you bowl a wide, only your first wide or first no ball do you re-bowl. So you can only bowl a maximum of 6.
So I can mark 6 max?
Yes.
Okay.
If you bowl a second wide or anything in the over, it's then 3 runs.
Okay. But it's a legal ball now.
It's now a legal ball, but you get 3 runs.
Yes.
So what that now does is it goes to the batsman. So if I'm facing and you bowl me 2 wides, I get the runs.
Okay.
Which it helps my strike rate.
I'm happy with that, exactly, yeah.
You know, I just wish, first ball of the game, a few of the guys would just chuck it down leg just to give me off the mark.
Exactly. So less ducks.
Less ducks, that's it.
Yeah.
And yes, there's 8 fielders. It's 3 on the leg, 3 on the off. But you can call a power play where you can go 4-2. Okay. So if I've got a good offside bowler, I can call a power play.
So you have 4 fielders on the offside.
4 fielders on the offside.
Then 2 on the back.
2 on the back leg. So you can do that. Some teams will go very defensive from ball 1, so everyone out on the boundary. Some teams are very competitive.
So there's no restrictions with
there's no
fielders outside the circle. Okay.
They do have one restriction though, and that is your bowler's run up. So it's only 12 meters.
You can't go past that.
Can't go past that. Okay. So yeah, those are the nitty gritty rules about it. But what I have found playing it, and I've only been playing it for about 3 years now, is a lot of good players you've come across. Then you've asked them, have you ever played club cricket? No, I haven't. I just play LMS. Wow. But the guy's played 400 LMS games. He's got 8,000 runs and 600 wickets, whatever it is. And you're going, but hang a second.
Why are you playing LMS and not going to club?
Yeah, you would be a gun club cricketer.
Yes.
Then I've spoken to some guys and they've told me no, that from playing LMS, players like a Renata, Murray Workman, stuff like that have then called them and they've gone and played club cricket. I'm not saying that those are the only two players, but those are some of the big names that have played club and LMS.
Yes.
You know, and I mean, you take it, there are a number of club cricketers that do play LMS. The current captain of South Africa's LMS side is the captain of Wanderers, Daniel Poulton. You know, so you've got these really gun cricketers, club and LMS.
Yeah.
Where when I first started it, I thought literally it was going to be a bit of parky cricket, and I was that
was my first initial. You know when someone comes to you and say there's this, and you're like,
I was very surprised. And I mean, Roodepoort closed, and we moved over to Krugersdorp, and again you came across talented players again. And then you chat to them, and the guys never played cricket before. Wow. And you're going, but hang a second, you've got great hand-eye coordination.
Yeah. So why are you not doing it? Yeah.
Krugersdorp then closed, and now at the school, we let them use our facilities to play LMS. Okay. So we prep the wickets, they come and they play, they Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. So again, there is amazing talent that's there. Like I said, there are guys that have got 10,000 runs. There are guys that, I mean, what is also nice at LMS is when you get to 50, you retire. And then if the whole team is out, you go back and bat. Okay. What's also nice is if you've lost 7 wickets, you can bat on your own. But the only
downside, take those twos there.
But then it's 2, 4, 6.
You have to take those twos.
So you have to be fit.
Yeah.
And that's the nice thing about it. And yes, there's still, on a cricket field, there's still banter. There's still good jokes.
Still the same. Good bowling is still good bowling.
Good bowling, yes, and that's it. Yes, you're going to get the odd pie. You do get the odd jaffa. You get the great shot. You get the bad shot.
But then that's the same thing with club cricket anyway.
Exactly.
Yes.
And what I have felt with LMS, or what I have found, or should I rather say, is the friendships are a bit different.
Okay.
Because teams will arrive early to watch certain teams play.
Wow.
Or they will leave later to watch.
Because they were watching
Yes,
other
because
teams.
they want to watch other teams and stuff like that.
Wow.
And, you know, and I think sometimes a lot of players will go, oh, it's LMS, it's, you know, it's nothing. No, but there's some really good players. Wow. I mean, at Roodepoort, there's some amazing, talented players. Wow. I played a few games at Marks Park a little while ago. One of the teams is a lot of old Kagisu players. So I played club cricket against them.
Then now you're playing with them.
Yeah. And that's also the nice thing, that there's no age limit on club cricket.
Anyone can go and play.
Yeah, where I think South African club cricket, once you get to about 35, 36, they sort of look at you and go, okay, you need to go down to the lower teams.
Go play SU8 or whatever.
Yes. You know, where LMS is you go and play. Yes, club cricket has brought in veterans and masters cricket now, which is amazing. I was very privileged enough to play for the over 40s.
Yeah.
There are the Easterns League, the Central Gauteng Lions League, so that's been great. But LMS is, this week you can play against an 18-year-old and I'm 42. Next week you can play against an uncle that is 60.
60 as well.
That's it, you know. Yeah. So I do think that's the nice thing about LMS. There's no age.
So it's welcoming everyone.
Yes.
So anyone, even the one that's failing to bowl, but just barely making it to the other end, they still can play with the same one.
And we played a game the other day and one of the schoolboys was batting, and one of the bowlers, very good cricketer, was bowling very well. And he actually went to the youngster and he was actually helping the youngster.
Wow.
So that just shows you that there's also the understanding. I mean, we all know we've played club cricket. You play Prem cricket and a 14 or 15 or 16-year-old comes into bat. Sorry, you got a bit of head chin music. The slips are going to give it. The keeper's going to give it.
You just want to give the kid hell. Yeah.
Where here at LMS, it's sort of a bit more chilled. Wow. Yes, there's still the competitive edge.
But it's chill.
But the guys do understand. And also nice. Families come. There's picnics.
So it's a family environment.
It's a family vibe, It's almost like a little festival.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So every Sunday we have a festival from 8 until 5. It's amazing.
That's amazing. You are going to Kenya.
Yes.
And you sent me a message and like, hey, bro, I told you I don't have any secrets, bro. Hey bro, I'm going to Kenya for the LMS. What's happening in Kenya, and give us the nitty gritties. And for the guys that are watching this, we're appealing to sponsors, and we always speak about sponsors for the podcast. We are appealing for sponsors to get these guys to whatever that they want and whatever that is going to say. It's not something that we've discussed beforehand, but rather this is cricket. And when you hear someone say the friendships in LMS cricket are different, that to me puts a smile into my face, because we are making cricket evolve. So if you're a company that wants to get involved, please get in touch. Our details and everything are going to be linked down below, and Malcolm's stuff and social media stuff if you want to reach out. So what's happening in Kenya?
So in Kenya, the 21st of June to the 30th is the LMS World Cup. So in February, they had the Masters World Cup, so over 40. That was held in Barbados. Now, this is the World Cup of World Cup. So in other words, this uncle is going to be playing with youngsters from all around the world.
Wow.
So yes, I am playing for the rest of the world. So what they've basically done is you've got your South Africas, you've got your Englands, your India, your Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, West Indies, all of that. And then the rest of the world is based or made up of players from other countries that aren't participating. Okay. Yes, there is one or two South Africans in the rest of the world team as well. So it's players that have been selected. And with LMS, there's live scoring, live stats, live streaming. So all your games are televised on YouTube.
Wow.
There is live stats. So if I play on Sunday, by Wednesday, my stats are updated.
Okay.
And it gives you your international rating as well as your local rating. So where you're rated in the country and where you're rated in the world. So in Kenya, there is the World Cup. So it is basically 7 days. You play your round robin of cricket. Yeah. So you play your round robin. There's 3 pools or 4 pools, sorry. My maths is not that good. So 4 pools. Basically, you're going to play 5 games each. Then you're going to get your quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. So you're averaging around about 6 to 7 games of cricket.
Jesus,
in 7 days.
That's a lot.
So the body is going to feel it.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, you know. I've already started to do my running, my push-ups, just to get fit. Connor can already outplank me, but I suppose it's easy to plank 14 kilograms
with that body. Exactly.
Connor doesn't understand why he can plank for 2 seconds and I'm trying to plank for a minute.
You're not heavy, right? Exactly.
So I'm really starting to do that, and I'm just looking forward to playing cricket and making new friendships and. Yes, to test my cricketing ability. I know the South African side, I have played against some of them, is a really strong side. I've had a look at the Aussie side. The Aussie side also, some really quality players.
So you are playing for
the
South
rest
Africa,
of the world?
Rest of the world?
Rest of the world, yes.
Against Australia?
Yeah, so in our pool, it is South Africa, it's Australia, Singapore, or it's either Singapore or UAE, and then so there's 6 teams in our pool.
No, so my question is, are you playing as South Africa?
No,
are you
I'm playing
as
the rest of the world.
The world against Australia?
Yes, so you could put your name in the hat. And of course, I was born in Zim, so I put my name in for Zim. And Zim didn't send a team to the LMS World Cup. So that's the rest of the world, yes. I was fortunate enough to play for the Zim Masters last year in the African Cup. So now I'm representing rest of the world. Not that I've got anything against South Africa or whatever, but you always want to play for the country of your birth.
Country that you were
That was it, you know.
So is South Africa sending a team as well?
Yes, South Africa sending a team, very strong side. Daniel Poulton is in there, Justin Gamble is in there, JG is in there. So the South African team is really, really strong. I think it is so strong that if you didn't make it, you would feel unlucky, because there's some really quality players that I think have missed out. But again, if you look at that South African side, you're looking, you're going, okay. You know, who would you leave out for player B? Because it is a very strong side.
They're equally as good.
That's it. You know, and I mean, it was based on stats. So, you know, the South African side, like I said, I cannot reiterate it enough, is a gun side. You know.
So if you were a sponsor, or if I were a sponsor, what would you want a sponsor for?
So what we basically do in LMS, because it's still very small, is self-funded. So we have to pay for our tournament fees, our flights, accommodation.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is what I need sponsorship for, or that's what I'm appealing for.
Yeah.
Now, I do know times are tough. Our economical struggle at the moment is, so yes, if one company could sponsor, I'd be amazed. I would be very happy. But if there's a lot of smaller companies, stuff like that, a lot of mates. So I created a Backer Buddy account where people can pay into it and stuff like that. There has been a bit of movement in there, so that's good. To the guys that have already paid and stuff like that, really thank you for that. Again, what I can offer back to the sponsors, I mean, that's always what you want as a sponsor. You want to know what are you going to get back. My bag, I will put your company logo across my bag, my cricket kit and my tog bag that I'll carry around, of course, with my clothing, stuff like that. Company sticker on my bats. I am fortunate enough, I've got a few bats, so we can put company stickers on there. And the nice thing is that after the tournament, I'm not going to go and take it off.
Yeah, you're still going to play with that sticker on.
Because on my bag, I will put a vinyl print on. So that's basically almost like a laminated on it. So it will stay there. So it's not just advertising for the 7 days in Kenya or the 8 days in
every
Kenya.
Time you play
it's
cricket.
going to carry on, yes. And I am fortunate enough that my cricket bag goes everywhere with me. I do play a lot of LMS. I do a lot of coaching. So I do post a lot on social media, whether it is me batting or my son batting.
You're scoring hundreds or your son scoring better than you.
That's it, you know. So yes, there is advertising out there for whoever would like to come on board.
I see.
You know?
What are the timelines? By when do you need to get your funds?
Well, basically by round about the middle of June, round about the 15th of June.
Okay.
You know?
That's inclusive of flights and all that?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a visa to go to?
No, luckily not. There's no visa to go to Kenya. So it's my tournament fees, flights and stuff like that. We've had a look. So, of course, LMS is an international company. So they tell you what your tournament costs and all that are, which is £720, which at the current rate today, I think it's about 23.
Okay.
So what? 7 times 23, you know?
7 times 23 is too late. I can't do the math. But
you know,
how does a company get hold of you to put something in? And also, can we get a link to that Backer Buddy?
Yes, so
that
I have created one on Facebook. I have created one on Instagram. So I will then share those all with you.
Yes.
They can be done. I did also create one for TikTok. I know a lot of the youngsters love TikTok.
They love it,
I know Facebook is more for us older people, as pensioners.
One of the kids was asking me, like, Coach, what are you doing on Facebook? Because they saw an app on my phone, like, you still have Facebook, and I'm like, I'm not young, so unfortunately. So awesome! You've got all your social media handles on check, and we're gonna link that down below. And we're just throwing in a net, and knowing that someone else may come through and say, I'm gonna sponsor you with $1,000. That one says I'm gonna sponsor you with this. I think also we are not trying to close off just to have companies that are going to sponsor, even those individuals that are going to throw in that $100, that whatnot. All those little monies, they're going to come through to make sure that this dream comes to pass.
I mean, on my Backer Buddy accounts, I've already had 2 or 3 people that have donated 50 Rand, 100 Rand, 150 Rand. All of those things fill up a little hole.
It does.
It does. And that is what is nice about it. And like you've said, the greater cricketing community, the greater public community, stuff like that. And for companies, yes, it's a nice little tax write-off, because you can then say to the tax man, I have done my good deed for the day.
I did.
So there is a bit of a rebate or stuff for companies. I don't teach business or know too much about business. I teach easier subjects than that,
You're so modest. Jeez.
I just teach children how to draw a straight line. How hard can it be,
Awesome. Mal, you've been amazing. And before I let you go, if you were on my seat, what question would you have asked you that you'd want people to know? Do you understand that statement?
Yeah.
If you were sitting here and you were the host of the show, what would you have asked Malcolm? Or what would you want Malcolm to let people know? I know it's a tough question.
It's a tough one. I wish you'd prepped me for this one. I could have Googled it or Chat GPT.
Chat GPT. How do I do this? Yeah.
What would Malcolm still like to give back to the cricketing community?
Yeah, tell us.
So I still think there's a lot for me to give back, whether it be admin, coaching, stuff like that. I still think even at the back end of 40 or the middle of 40, I still got a lot to give back and give back to the students. And I think what I have given already is a lot, and I still think I've got a lot more to give, and I'm willing to give it.
Awesome stuff. Wow, you've been amazing.
Thank you very
so
much.
much for taking your time. The very last question is, what's your driving force? What drives you? Or I could say, a wise man once said, you complete that statement. That's what makes you wake up every morning. And even though, when the alarm goes off, you're like, but you're thinking, wise man once said. So
it's a bit of a cliche, but if you're doing something that you're enjoying, it's not a job. And I'm fortunate enough, I love my teaching job. I've got amazing students that I teach. I teach at an amazing school. So yeah, it's not actually a job. I enjoy going to school. It sounds stupid as an adult, I enjoy going to school. I enjoy going to work. Plus, I'm a teacher. I get 4 holidays a year. I only work half day. How bad can it be?
How bad can it be, honestly speaking?
I know there's a lot of teachers out there that are going to shoot me for that comment.
My co-host for the main podcast is always like, yeah, sisters, I'm tired, bro. I can't do with this. But yeah, thank you so much for taking your time.
Thank you very much to your wife and to the crew and everything. Amazing. Thank you very much.
You've been amazing. A great guest. I think one of the reasons why this conversation was flowing is because of the shared love for what we do and what we're trying to bring to this game of cricket. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome stuff. If you're still here, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. That way, we're going to get more legends like Malcolm to come through. If you're a company, like we said earlier, please come through. If you can't get hold of him, you can get hold of myself. My number is always down in the link in the description box below, or our social media handles. You can DM and do whatnot. We also need sponsors for this place because we need an aircon. We need cameras. We need so much stuff. There is so much that we can do, and as you bring in your advertisement, you're getting a kickback and we're getting something in return. So it's always going to be tit for tat, that kind of vibe. We'll see you guys soon, and take care of yourselves. We're going into the weekend. Take it easy. Don't drink and drive. Do all the nitty-gritties to ensure that the world is a better place when you come back to it. We'll see you guys soon. Cheers for now.